Welcome back to Narrow Ground Entertainment. I'm Steve the Unimpressed. This is Steve Solo's Minecraft episode 10. I am going to be doing a little bit of clearing up, taking care of a few loose ends and tasks that I've left unfinished. The first of those, I don't remember if I enchanted this on camera or not, but I have gotten myself a iron pickaxe that has a fortune enchantment. So I'm going to go back and collect the rest of those diamonds that I found several episodes ago and never finished off because I knew eventually I would get a fortune enchantment and I would want to use that to collect those. One of the things I kind of decided is that for the Steve Solos series I want to start moving us towards endgame Minecraft, which is after you have accomplished most of the goals that the game has laid out for you, and you just start doing whatever you feel like doing. So getting things like beacons, shulker boxes, elytra, so that will mean going to the end. In the more near future, I would like to start setting up some small automated farms to collect things or resources like sugarcane that I've been growing manually over here. And that will mean a trip to the Nether, and I am uncertain of whether I want to do that soon or try to hold off on that for a little bit. I'm certainly not going to try to do that in this episode because the next Minecraft update is the Nether update, which has not come out yet, but I've seen a whole bunch of news about, and I still have not gone to the Nether in this world. If I hold off for now, I will be able to generate this world's Nether in the Nether update, and that will prevent me from having to go as far looking for some of the things that are going to be added in the Nether update. And that would be convenient. But if I run out of other things that I need to work on, I'm certainly not going to hold off on going to the Nether just to wait until the Nether update is released. For now, though, I'm going to head down to the mines and we're going to collect our diamonds. Here we are, the diamonds that I found several episodes ago, but left the last 3 of because I only needed 5 so that I could come back with a Fortune 3 pickaxe and collect the rest. And because of the Fortune 3 enchantment, we actually got a lot from that. 3 diamond blocks, 3 diamonds per block, or diamond ore blocks, rather. I don't remember, I think that is the most that you can get. I don't remember whether the fortune enchantment gives you 1 to 4 or 1 to 3, but an average of 3 is pretty good. So now we have those. Now we'll go back upstairs and put those away. There we are, 9 diamonds nice and safe in our upstairs chest, where they are as safe as they can possibly be at this point. Lower level still has the potential of being blown up by a creeper, so I decided I'd rather bring them up here. The next thing I'm going to do in this episode is I'm going to start working on pumpkin and melon farms, which I have discussed in the past, but never got around to setting up, even though, if I remember correctly, in one of these chests I have both melon and pumpkin seeds waiting to be planted. And since those are some of the better trades you can get with farm villagers, there's the pumpkin seeds, it would be beneficial to get those set up. Maybe I didn't have watermelon seeds. No watermelon seeds. Pumpkins are a good start, though. There is my pumpkin farm. The arrangement, or the reason I set it up in this arrangement, with the long water trench and the crop rows on either side of it, and then a blank space beyond each of those. The way pumpkins and watermelons grow in Minecraft, these shoots that are coming up now will grow into stalks, and once the stalks are grown, they have a random chance of generating a pumpkin or a watermelon on one of the blocks immediately adjacent. So by planting them all like this, and then on the ends putting some other block. Here I've used logs. I may change those out for something else later. That limits their growth options so that when a pumpkin or a watermelon does generate, it will be on that block over there on the side. And I actually planned, this is 16 blocks long. One side is planted because I had 16 pumpkin seeds. I plan to plant the same number on this side, and I may add a second unit over here, but I may just save that until I have watermelon seeds. 32 spaces for pumpkins to grow is probably enough. So what I can do to encourage that is you cannot get these to grow a pumpkin with bone meal. I'm continuing to click on it and the bone meal is doing nothing, but you can get the shoots to grow into mature stalks with bone meal. So once they're tall like this, that is when they have the chance to produce a pumpkin. So I'm going to use, hopefully not all of this bone meal, but I'm going to grow as many of these as I have the bone meal to grow for now. And we will see how long it takes us to get a pumpkin after that. As soon as I start getting more pumpkins, I will start filling in the other side. Well, that was convenient. No sooner had I finished bone mealing this stalk to maturity than it immediately produced a pumpkin for me. So, that was handy. The best tool for harvesting these is an axe. I think that might be changing in the Nether update. I know that they're changing it so that the hoe is the ideal tool for harvesting some things. Right now it's the ideal tool for harvesting nothing. Pumpkins might be one of the blocks on that list, but don't take my word for it because I don't really remember. And that vine is apparently just a champion because that's none of the rest have produced anything yet, and that one has already produced 2. So I'm going to take these back inside and shear them to get some more seeds out of them. Alright, I'm back over here. I have my next 16 pumpkin seeds. I'm going to pop those in. Bone meal a few of those to full growth. And we will have and I ran out of bone meal a little short, but I'm not too concerned about that. I think I can let the last, 8 vines reach full growth on their own. There's another pumpkin already. So now I have some pumpkin production going, which is good because that is one of the better trades with the farmer villagers. And that is something that I've put off for a while, so I am glad to have it done. And now we will be on to our next project. One of my other projects that I've been putting off is trying to gain access to the Mending Enchantment. And I don't know if I've explained this on camera before. The Mending Enchantment is not one that you can get from the enchanting table. You can only get it from enchanted books, which you find in other places. So there are actually 2 approaches that I'm going to try to finding myself some mending books. One of them is you can acquire mending books by fishing. One of the treasures that you can sometimes get from fishing is enchanted books, and one of the enchantments that you can fish up is a book with a mending enchantment on it. I don't know if I'm going to get the enchantments I want on this fishing rod, but let's try it anyway. I already have one with Unbreaking. Lure 2. So, Lure 2 increases the speed with which you will catch a fish, but it doesn't do anything for getting more treasure out of your fishing. So, that was not really what I was going for, but we'll see whether we can get some use out of that anyway. And if I decide I can't, I can put it through a grindstone, remove the enchantment, and try again. For now, though, let's try the other method, or work on the other method. One of the other ways you can get mending books is trading with villagers. You need librarian villagers for that, which we do not have any of over in our village. However, all you really have to do to get a librarian villager is make a lectern, which requires a bookshelf, and I do not recall what all else. Hang on, let me look that up. Slabs. It is a bookshelf and slabs. which means I need some more wood. There we go. There, one lectern. I actually might make more of those. How many more? I think I'm going to take at least 2 and trot back over to, well, let's make it 3. That's a nice round number. And I will trot back over to our village, and we will see whether my efforts to increase the population of that village have been in any way successful. Hopefully we will have some new villagers over there that are standing around waiting to have professions because there are no workstation blocks available for them to claim. Mending books are one of the trades available through the librarian villager, and their workstation is the lectern. And what I may well decide to do, even though it's a little, some people would consider it cheating, but since I prefer the exploration part of Minecraft, and mending equipment is useful for that, I would rather just get to the resources that I need for it. I can, one of the things you can do is simply place a lectern, wait for them to adopt the librarian profession. He's not going to because he's a nitwit. And once they have, check their first trade. If you don't trade with them, they won't lock their trades. If their first trade is not a mending book, break the lectern and place it back down, which will randomize their trades. And we're having problems with villagers getting stuck in the well. I can see that we've had this problem before because I've placed a wool block in there so that they can get out. But I think I am probably going to fence off this well at some point, because that's just obnoxious. It looks like we have not gotten any new villagers over here. One of the ways that is supposed to happen is the farmer villagers are supposed to provide food to the other villagers, which will help, which is part of their mechanic for breeding. What you can do to accelerate that, besides putting more beds down, because that's part of the mechanic too. Villagers won't breed if there aren't any unoccupied beds in the village. If there are, they should be willing to breed, but they'll only do that if they have enough food. So one of the things that you can do to accelerate things is provide them with food. I am going to go back to my cove over there, pick up some of my own carrots and bring them back and distribute those among these villagers, and hopefully that will get them to start breeding and producing some new villagers, which will lead to the librarians we need. I have returned to the village with a bunch of carrots from my own supplies, and with some fences to deal with this well problem. I'm going to start with removing the middle blocks here. Oh, that was apparently the first piece of mossy cobblestone I've ever picked up. And I'm going to replace those with fences on all but one side. And once these two gentlemen can be persuaded to get out of the well and go somewhere else, I will fence this section off too. Go, get out. Get that piece of wool. There. That should be the end of our villagers stuck in the well problems. One can hope anyway. Now, the villagers do have inventory slots, which are what allows them to hold food, and if they have enough food, then they will be able to breed. What I tend to do is just throw half a stack of carrots at them, or possibly a full stack. And he picked those up. He's got a little more than half a stack. I don't remember how many are required for them to be able to breed, but you can't really go wrong with just carpet bombing them with carrots. Usually they will path over to them eventually when they're just sitting on the ground there, like that. Even the farmer has empty inventory slots, so that is probably why they are not able to just breed on their own right now. The farmers harvest the crops from their fields and then distribute them to the other villagers when their inventory is full. So if the farmers' inventories are not full, then, well, they're not going to distribute food. I have now distributed carrots to a bunch of the villagers. Typically, when they produce new villagers, it happens at the meeting times, and we're getting towards the end of the day. I think there's one of those towards the end of the day cycle. So hopefully, we will be seeing some new villagers in a little bit here. There they go towards the bell, which is the meeting area. Those two have entered love mode, which means we should get a new villager. Some carrots popped out. I'm not sure what that means. That second particle effect means that the attempt failed, and I'm not really sure what's wrong with that, so I may have to look that up, research a little bit, and try again later. One of the other ways that I can accomplish this, if I can find any, is curing a zombie villager. But to do that, I will need potions of weakness, which requires the ability to brew potions, and I have to go to the nether before I'm able to do that. So that could be a little while in the making. What you are seeing here walking towards me is a zombie villager, as I was just talking about on my way back from the village. I don't have the means to cure him yet, but if I can capture him and hide him away somewhere where the sun isn't going to burn him in the day, I will be able to cure him later. So let's see, where should I try and, where should I try and put him? I'm going to wind up with a ugly looking dirt box in the middle of my lawn, but sacrifices have to be made sometimes. Now, get you back into this corner, please. Come on. No, come back in this box. No. The other way. Nope. They do not always cooperate. In fact, cooperation is not really what they're trying to do. What they're trying to do is eat you. Get out of the water. You're going to turn into a drown, and that's the last thing I want. Ow. Blasted, he was in there. Come this way. Perfect. There. And he's even holding the dirt block, so he won't be able to despawn. Zombies that are holding something can't despawn. And as soon as I put a roof on this box, he won't be able to be burned by sunlight either, because he won't have any sunlight. Do I have any torches with me? Yes, I do. Good. There. The reason I'm putting a torch in there is I am probably going to turn him back into a villager right in this very same box. And when the game is spawning monsters, it doesn't take into account whether there's a villager in the area. It only takes into account player distance and the darkness in the area that it's trying to spawn the monster. So curing him and turning him back into a villager in there with no light in there would still allow more monsters to spawn in that box, potentially. I have had it happen in my single-player world where I cured a zombie villager, turned it back into a villager, forgot to put a light source in there, and when I went to open up the box to move that cured villager into the position that I actually wanted it, there was a creeper inside the box with it, and the creeper saw me and exploded and killed the zombie villager, or the villager at that point. So we want to avoid having that happen. Alright, now I have a big ugly dirt box on my lawn, but I have a zombie villager, which I will be able to cure. I think the next episode is going to involve us going to the Nether, whether the Nether update is out or not. For now, I'm going to do some fishing. That is where I'm going to call it for this video. We got a few things done. We got some pumpkin farming set up and did some work on the village, got our diamonds, seized the moment and boxed in a zombie villager to cure later. In the next episode, as I mentioned when I put him in that box, I will probably be going to the Nether whether or not the Nether update has been released by then. I sort of suspect that it will not have been, so that will cause other difficulties for me later, but I'm not too concerned about that. Thank you for watching. Leave a like on the video if you did, subscribe to see more content, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye and God bless. Well, that went well.